Oh, we are live. We are live. And we are talking about choosing life. And it's starting to, the wind is kicking up right now. It kind of actually started kicking up yesterday. But then I could sit outside because it wasn't raining. But now it started to rain. It's going to thunder and lightning here. Yeah, we'll see when it happens. Well, put it a little bit over there. This looks different. I was not used to this. Yeah, that works. Wow, that looks darker. I look darker for some reason. Oh. Oh. Yeah, it's been like a perfect few days. It's like quiet before the storm. And it's Wisdom Wednesday, so kind of it's kicking up. Oh, we got a comment here. Oh, somebody's here. That's somebody's watching. Oh, wow. Yeah, people are coming in. People are getting pulled away too into other stuff. People are getting pulled away from themselves, the space. And I say choosing life, honoring the space, the sacredness of space, the energy of the space. We're kind of looking at this space, the energy of it, becoming accustomed to it. It takes time to kind of believe. We kind of have a tendency to want to focus on why I experience and what somebody else experience and all the experiences that are happening. Lady next door, she's smoking with an umbrella. That's right. I've never seen her do that before. It really hasn't been raining this much that often, not for this long. Usually just rains for an hour or two and then it calms down. But yeah, it is a new time. We've kind of had this retreat and the lifts everybody in the space up, but then also then that brings people into either like a physical cleaning afterwards or suddenly feeling a little bit more exhausted as you kind of like suddenly feel more energy, or you can get pulled into desire or your emotions, desire, anger, sadness. That's kind of like the energy body that we're kind of at the level that we kind of have been trained to focus in our philosophy that's kind of taken over Norway, but also kind of the feminine space, the heart space, which is the emotional space, which is usually kind of locked into an idea of kindness, being kind to people. Oh, that looks better. But kindness becomes kind of how most people hold their bodies. That's kind of like the philosophy. When you don't believe, when you don't own the truth, when you don't see the energy connection, when you don't haven't established that truth within, you kind of look outside for the truth, and that truth that most people get pulled into is then that the philosophy of kindness. And when we kind of are kind, we kind of separate ourselves from being angry. So, you know, we have a tendency to, we have kind of put men kind of in prison, the toxic masculinity that we talk about, or people talk about, or men, violent men, warrior men, the Viking. We kind of have released this warrior mentality, this where they used anger as a power. We've kind of like, oh, it is coming in. So we separate ourselves from that anger. So we just, but then we judge anger. So we kind of lock this anger into our belly, into our body, and then we push ourselves up into kindness, into an identity, into be, you know, the the good girl, or the good man, or the good person, kind of emulating Christ. But when we kind of also, it's still a judgment. It comes from judgment, because kindness is kind of a judgment of, it's not truth. It's an identity. It's a philosophy. And this philosophy was kind of made, you can see it in the feminism, but you can also see in the Marxism and communism and Karl Marx. They were like, well, if we're kind, we should just treat everybody equal, and we should just, then if everybody should be treated equal, then everybody should just work, and we have to cut up the family, and then we should just then out of kindness we give away our kids to society, and society decides what to do with the kids, if you're going to have them or keep them, or if you, we just give away, and then we have the health care or sick care, where everybody becomes like, they judge and they control. So we have given away our control to this society that is based off of kindness. But on paper, it sounds very perfect. But at the same time, we see, but then when you look around, everything, I was little, I was like, why does everybody seem so angry still? And you see all the politicians, they all seem so angry. The only time they're happy is when the sports come in. So we got like a lift yesterday. We felt the lift in America too. We're suddenly like, oh, all these people came to America, and we're like, oh, wow, there is a love in America. There is an expansive, beautiful energy. There's a life. But then when we're stuck in this kindness, where we just are focused on just everything is supposed to equality, it becomes like a judgment. The mind goes into judgment, and what happens is that you are clenching, you're avoiding the anger, the power, the flow inside, the honoring of life, the honoring of truth. So you're clenching your belly to lift up. So then people get um, problems with the uterus, or they get problems in the belly, like stress in their belly, because it's kind of this push. You're constantly moving energy inside. So it's not so healthy, and it's not so comfortable in the long run. So then a lot of people end up divorcing, because they're so tired. They get so tired of, because it's, you kind of engaged in marriage kind of out of anger and judgment, of being kind, of expectation, being kind. Everything's supposed to be kind. So there we kind of are. See, Norway is like the perfect place because everybody has become children of Norway. They're no longer children of God. They're children of Norway. They're children that just wants the oil money. So then everybody just kind of want to be carried by society. We can take health, sick leave. We can have vacations. We like the government should take care of everything. But then we're not even kind. We become kind of desperate. We become sad almost. We becomes like this needy. It becomes like I can be happy about it, but it's still like even your heart is a little bit giving away your power because you become dependent upon the healthcare system, dependent upon society. That's why you see like a lot of doctors they die early out of a broken heart. Like my grandparents, the priests in Norway are like they're still kind of stuck in the Norwegianness. They haven't released this Norwegianness, this identity of being like we're just supposed to be just enough. It's like this holding of breath inside, even in your heart. We're just supposed to be enough, and it becomes like hard to breathe. And then, so then when we kind of open up this energy, when what is showing up here, the energy awakens. Then suddenly we feel it. Then the heart starts fluttering, and we're like, "Whoa, I'm not used to it." Then we're like, "Well, there must be something wrong. There must be something wrong." So we all go around like, how do I feel? I'm sick. How do I feel? I'm tired. How do I feel? I'm heart pump. How do I feel? We just automatically go into just judgment and just evaluating ourselves. So that's kind of part of the journey of the feminine, which we kind of have, which have created identities where we can either I can be in anger, I can be a man and I'm like angry, and then you push people away, leave me alone. Or you go into the heart, which is more like, I'm just gonna love everybody, I'm gonna be kind to everybody. Which then you just like open up to everybody. You open your energy up, and then you're like an open door. Or you go into desire, which then your identity becomes more like your sexual preference, which then becomes either you want to connect with people, and then you become, since your sexuality, your desires, your identity, whatever you feel becomes your identity. If I like that person, I must be in love with that person. So then I want to connect with that person. And unconsciously, we usually we go two people together, and then we push everybody else around, and we become two cool people, and we kind of elevate ourselves, but we push everybody else away at the same time. Or else we just want to make love to a person, and we become dominant when we push the other way down. Or we hold on to them and lift them up, and you you become desperate, and you bend to them. You become needy to their love. So we have these different identities that come out from our emotions. So most of us are kind of stuck in these emotions as an identity. So when we open up energy and retreats, these identities will come up more clearly, pronouncedly afterwards. So we talk about it because suddenly you will shift. You suddenly will be peaceful for a while, and then suddenly you get taken over by these identities, these belief system. I'm my kind. If you just open up to everybody, will want to be with you when you have more energy. Everybody wants your energy. So you're like, so we have to get this, like, be aware, like, am I more of desire? Am I more of anger? Am I more of focus? Am I more of sadness? Am I more of love? Am I more of truth? Everybody has their different kind of organized a little bit out from what has happened, from our parents, from society, from whatnot. So we kind of have created this space, and this space has an energy that can kind of actually help. It's like Norway needs help. Norway needs help be to be revived. Norway is dying. You see, like they are struggling. Norway has like inflation of like six. They have like one of the highest in the world now, and you see like, but Sweden is down at 1, and America is like down at 2, and Denmark is at 2 as well or something, and we have like Turkey's 13, and there's one at 6.7, and we are 6. It's like you see, like everybody's just in our kindness. We have lost our power to like engage. It's almost like we're afraid. It's almost we're afraid of money. We're afraid. We're ashamed of the oil that we have had. We've become so desperate about this oil that it's the only thing we can think about, and that we're of course going to save for the future. So we can't use any except for give everything away to Ukraine, and then we're just stuck. Everything we just I guess we just have to suffer more and increase the rent and increase. It's literally funny, like literally funny to see how people just tap out. It's kind of symbolic. It's like how people tap out suddenly. They get stuck in this. Should I just give up? Well, here we're kind of like starting to open up that this when you start to have enough people in the space that we can start to like allow the space to grow, it can start to shine outwards. It can start more people can start affected. It can actually affect Norway, this light. Yeah. Because it can energize others. It can, but that means that we have to dare to like not be like, okay, I guess we can't criticize. We're afraid of criticizing Norway. We're kind of everybody's like afraid. What if we can't criticize because then we're not kind? So we're stuck in kindness. It's like we can't criticize others, our friend people, because we're stuck in criticize. Just means they're to speak truth. They're to say like, hey, we can lift. So it'll be funny to see if this World Cup will lift Norway. It did that before, but now the masculine has and the feminine has been. Society has become so feminine that the masculine has been so pushed out. All the rich people have left. So this, and then you see when people are in kindness, they get irritated, they get offended, they get annoyed with people that don't follow their philosophy. So they want revenge. So they're like all like the more they want to punish the rich people, the more people leave. It's like or like the kind is no longer kind because kindness have been twisted. Kind, you can be kind, but kindness has to come from truth, not from an ideology. That's where it gets twisted. But that has to happen because we want to learn about these patterns. We want to see them. And that this kind of started, we kind of did get lifted with Jesus when he lifted us to this awakening, to this choice, this faith. We're kind of talking about the same thing. But he was in a time of the masculine where he had to kind of use more force, more force to kind of lift the energy. So a few people had to surrender and dare to choose. And yet they couldn't save the world, like the energy of the world, because the feminine still needed to be addressed. So the feminine has been addressed for these last 2,000 years. And then you see the Jews, before that, they were in the feminine. They were just They didn't have to believe in God at that time. They just had to, they were just Jews. They could believe in, they had many gods. They had all these different philosophies. They did many things. They kept losing God and finding, like, because they kept, like, their identity was just, they were just God's people. God has chosen them. So it's just completely just, you have a father that just carries you. But then Jesus came and he actually said, no, you actually have to choose. If you have anger in your heart, you are committing murder. He took it to the next level. He showed that your emotions actually does kind of create harm inside of you. For yourself, it's actually killing you. So, but then that could be spread, but nobody could truly understand this. So people have been battling this believing and not, but then the feminine still comes in, and then people say, like, I don't believe that, or I want my own church, or they're greedy and they have money. The Catholic Church, they have attacked everything. So they split up. So all these different churches, all these different beliefs, all these different kingdoms, they all split. So they all became the feminine, they spread out. And everybody's like, no, I believe in desire. I believe in this truth. I believe in kindness. I believe in this and that. So that's the feminine. Everybody got the identity of emotions, of what I feel, what I believe in, what I choose. But they didn't choose truth. They didn't choose faith. So we've been spreading out, and now we're seeing it kind of helps everybody has been able to be their own, and families choose differently. And then you get to see everybody who's chosen differently. But then society, the doctors don't want to judge anyone. The the psychologist doesn't want to judge anyone, and the the journalists don't want to judge anyone. But Jesus did. He said, you are being untruthful. You're not, he dared to speak truth. So truth comes from a different place inside. So to open up the energy, we have to dare to start living from truth. That is this energy in the space. That is what has been created here. So that's where people now are in the feminine, where people are kind of, everybody has been lifted up to the levels of the God, so to speak. Everybody has become awake, enlightened. That's why they call it the Enlightenment age. Everybody kind of got lifted through Christ. He showed the grown-up human. But then people are struggling. Well, can't just people choose it for me? Can't society just choose? No, it actually has to be chosen. So then we still have to see all these emotions that come up. So when we choose to come to a retreat, we choose to open up to that. I'm guiding through that truth. But then you will get confronted with your emotions, with that the body's cleaning, that you're feeling all these things, that you get lost, you get pulled. When you just open up, then you run, and I have to you have to join all the parties, I have to join all the, oh, my work has a party, I have to join everybody else. Oh, so all the people want to come to me. I can't say no. We can kind of get stuck in out there in being kind, when we forget that we have to start with what is kind to you. But then we have to discover when does it truly hit home, when you're kind to you. And that's where truth comes in. We're guiding, gradually peeling off the emotions. We're gradually closing into the truth of yourself as the divine being. So we're kind of going this journey together. So it is interesting, and it's marvelous, and it's fun, and it's challenging, because everything I say will sometimes trigger, Or they can be like, wait, did he say something that was I don't believe? Or you can suddenly get triggered in your dreams. I dreamt about the Muslims yesterday, that they had taken over Norway, and then we had to kind of protect Norway and return to truth. We can let anyone take us over, and we just start out of kindness. But if you don't have to fight with weapons, but you still need truth, you still need to dare to see, are people taking you over? It's like in Norway now, I think 56% of Norwegian healthcare goes to people coming in from the outside, because they don't have they don't really connect with our truth. They don't connect with our kindness. They don't necessarily come. It's easier for them now to people more people come because they can. They don't come because they're pathetic anymore, or just because they want to. There was a bigger honor energy back in the days. Now more people are just, I just want to be good. I just want to have money, but I just want to be. I don't care what the society believes that I believe in. So it's easier to just get stuck in just getting money. But in America, you're not just given money. Well, now these last months, like this year, in some of these cities are giving money, but other people say like, no, you actually have to start getting a job. You can't just get money. But the fun thing here with Norway is that we have the system, because we're kind of very stubborn people. We're kind of stubborn in our kindness. So we truly surrender to the feminine. So when somebody truly surrenders to the feminine, they will literally be like, sometimes you might also just be on healthcare, because that's also one way of getting money. So not everybody needs to work to live. It depends what path we're taking. It depends if you are like inherently more heart gate from the get-go, and your body will go through a different process that the doctors don't understand. And then you might just have to be on wellness care, which is also a beautiful journey. Everybody has their journey, but everybody has to see and wonder like, what is my journey, and how does what he say connect to me? And then some people just sleep. Well, if you're on the train, you can't sleep. So that might be funny. That might be funny. That might be funny. Oh. Ooh, yeah. So let's go into our second journey now. The second part, the relaxation part, even if most of you probably already have relaxed. Ooh, I forgot my glass completely today. Wow. It's like when stuff shifts, it's just suddenly you forget about it. It's not important. Nothing is needed in and of itself. Suddenly it just is like gone. That's how we shift. Doesn't shift from you, it shifts just in spite of you. It is showing up and honoring the process, the journey, and then suddenly stuff shifts. Yeah. It kind of calmed down after we start talking. Because it's still gonna start thundering more. And then suddenly justice comes in, and then suddenly we might actually get an extra sauna from the sauna. We're given maybe suddenly more than we paid for, because sometimes justice comes in and gives more. That is where justice comes in. When you live from truth, suddenly justice will suddenly hit you. But it's not like I can't just do it because Henrik talks about it. It still has to come from within, like you dare to say yes. But then you have to dare to open yourself up, and you just have to wait for it, and not, you can't force it. This is not a force. This is not like dying on the cross. This is sitting in the African or Hawaiian. Yeah, this could be Africa. This can also be the jungle, but it literally feels like this in Hawaii too, where it just becomes this, where you just dare to step into the garden of the Garden of Eden, the Garden of Eden, where there's plenty of fruits. But then now we can eat of the apple because the apple was already eaten, and but we don't do it from the snake. We do it if it feels fun. But we're not addicted to knowledge anymore. Anyway, let's drop your shoulders. Wow, the energy is different today. Wow, I wonder why, I wonder how. Yesterday you told me about the blue sky, and all that I could see, it's just a yellow lemon tree. Turning around, up and down, turn and turn and turn and turn and turn around, and all that I could see, it's just a yellow lemon tree. And I wonder, bum, ba da 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 dee da da, da 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 dee da da, da da dee da. Yeah, drop your shoulders a little bit more. Ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. I think I need a little picture. I'm so cute today. Let's do it. Oh, maybe I should do lemon tree. No, 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 no. Let's do it here. There we are. No. Drop your shoulders a little bit more. And stretch out your legs a little bit more. Yeah, open up that chest. Lift up your hips a little bit more. Ooh, it's coming in again here. Stretch out your arms and legs. There we are. Stretch out your feet. Stretch out your toes. There we are. Yeah, lift up your hips a little bit more. Open up your groin a little bit. Yeah, drop your shoulders a little bit more. There we're coming in. Stretch out your legs a little bit more. Wow. Yeah, all the way down in the ground. And there we are. It comes up. Up into your legs, up into your groin, up into your chest, up into your head. And up, and up, and up. Oh, yeah. Oh, and in the belly. Yeah. There we release some anger there. We're letting go of the kindness, the niceness, the niceness. Not really kindness. It's more like the niceness. I have to be nice to everyone. Good. Yeah. Because that can be like an anger, stuckness in anger, a separation of the energy body. Good, good. If you haven't said anything, and if you're watching this later or whatnot, let me know how you felt, how the session was, and how you're doing. And we will talk again, whether it's one-on-one or here. Maybe it's next time. Let me know. And yeah, let me know if people are starting to probably have vacation, so some people might be gone. Who knows? I don't know when people's vacations are starting, but we will see how the summer unfolds a little bit. Yeah, yep, 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 yep. Good, good to see you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. Ciao.